Well, the app, not only does it have built-in identification resources, it's also used for reporting. So we receive the reports and send them off to the local authority for follow-up so that there can be an early detection and rapid response to those invasive species reports, which is really critical to managing invasive species. We also send all the reports in to a provincial database or distribution maps for those invasive species, the only one of its kind that's publicly available in Alberta. So with every report that we receive, not only do we send it off to the local jurisdiction for follow-up, but they're added to these provincial distribution maps, which is a tremendous resource for Albertans. They're a big issue. We have all kinds of different kinds of invasive species. We have invasive plant species, aquatic invasive species like the zebra mussels and Prussian carp, etc. And we also have other species like wild boar at large, Norway rats, gypsy moth, whirling disease, and the list goes on. So all of these different invasive species threaten both Alberta's economy and our environment. And there's been different estimates looking at the economic impacts, but they pose threat to our agricultural crops and agricultural yields, grazing, production, forest, timber reserves, fisheries, and again, that list goes on. But the big issue environmentally is that these invasive species, they've arrived here without the pressures that would suppress their populations, and that allows them to grow uncontrolled and unchecked. They'll outcompete and overcrowd the native species, which results in the loss of biodiversity, loss of habitat and food for wildlife, and they can just generally alter the overall ecosystem processes, which is a big problem. The app is designed for everybody. Anybody can use it, and it's really easy. And we recognize that not everybody's an app user, so there's even a website aspect or reporting form that folks can use, which is super easy as well. You know, if you do have a smartphone, we encourage you to download it on your smartphone. It works for both iPhone and Android. It's a free download. You sign up for an account, and then you can start reporting. And if you're not quite sure of your identifications, there are some really great resources built into the app. There's photos of all the different invasive species, descriptions, and again, those distribution maps, so you can kind of have a look to see if that species has been reported in your area before. So it's designed for everybody, and it's really easy to use. So we've just came across the spotted knapweed plant, and we're gonna report it using the EdMaps app. So I've already downloaded the app on my smartphone and registered for an account. So I'm gonna hit new sighting. It's already included the date. We'll add our species. The plant species that we found is spotted knapweed. There it is. So I'm going to select spotted knapweed. There it is. We want to go ahead and take a photo. We'll use that photo as an example. And again, it's placing us at our geographic location based on the phone's built-in GPS. This is a positive report because we found the spotted knapweed here. You could indicate the time you spent at the site in minutes. It's also helpful if you include, details about the infestation. You can include habitat details, the area, and the density of the infestation. So we just found a couple of plants. The density was less than 5%. And you can add in any notes that you want our verifiers and us to know. Hit done, save, okay. And you'll see that a report has just been added to your upload queue. So you want to wait till you're back in Wi-Fi, connected to Wi-Fi, and then you can upload that report. And off it'll go to our verifiers. All of the information goes into the database, and that database, is relatively sparsely populated at this point, although we do have thousands of reports. We just have thousands more invasive species that haven't been reported. But with every report that's submitted, that database grows in its value. So we just encourage folks to report it. It's publicly available, so anyone can use it. We certainly hope that land managers, invasive species managers are using those data to see what's on the horizon or what's, coming up next. So this is now nationwide. Before it would only work in Alberta. It's now a nationwide app. Of course, the Alberta specifics, like we have our own species lists, etc. But you can use this thing all the way across North America. We're working with North American partners and Canadian partners to promote the app. And we're really excited about just kind of working collaboratively to encourage folks and empower them to identify and report invasive species. Yeah, this is like the ultimate family activity, I think. And you can do it if you're hiking, biking, boating, fishing. But certainly start again, and it's useful for all levels of knowledge of invasive species and invasive plant identification. But we encourage folks to get out, start having a look around. It's incredible when you start to identify and start looking at what we have for wildflowers, and then learning what's new, what shouldn't be here, what is an invasive species, which ones are the invaders, and then learning to report them. And that can really be fun for the whole family. I get a lot of joy in hiking and looking for wildflowers, seeing what's blooming next. And I hope, and I know that many other Albertans do as well. The other thing about this app is that I don't have to carry all this stuff.